This is
104.3 myFM.
KBIG, Los Angeles.
Family,
literacy,
social impact,
health and wellness,
education, music and arts.
This is My LA.
Yes, it is. It's My LA. It's our public affairs show. Our show that's all about putting the spotlight on charitable organizations, nonprofits, and people giving back. And that includes giving back to your mind, body, and spirit. Lisa Fox here. It's our first show of 2019, so let's make it official. Happy New Year! And as we always say, Happy New Year, New You. And most people going so crazy this month, trying to get back on track after all the overindulging over the holidays, putting on the pounds, a lot of extra eating and drinking, and then here comes January. And it's the pressure to do these insane New Year's resolutions that most folks never keep. And it's all these cleanses and fasts and crazy diets and intense workouts all of a sudden that often fade away and go away if you're not in a mindset that's truly helping you create lasting change. So here we are once again. It's another January. And so the question is always, how do we do it differently? What kind of program can we start for ourselves that will truly create lasting change to improve, to better our mind, body, and spirit? Well, and then I saw this guy talking about his new book on KTLA, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting twist or addition or a whole new component to the usual, body detox or the physical body and food makeover. And it was really speaking to me, and I wanted to have him on to tell us all about it. Hi, Alec Penix.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Alec is a longtime celebrity fitness trainer, and he just wrote his very first book. And the title alone was grabbing me, but also hearing what you kind of like have a whole different spin on this dieting and working out thing. You've taken it to a whole new level. The title of your book, 7 Sundays, A Faith, Fitness, and Food Plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. And it's this 43-day challenge that you put together based on your life experiences that we'll dive into. But you've got like this kind of like unique philosophy that approaches training and how one eats as one aspect of it, but it's really about feeding the soul, focusing on the inside so that your inside and your outsides can work together to make one whole. And, how you help your clients when you train them and how you help your clients. And now via this book, you're helping to address individual spiritual needs to help folks transform their bodies and to achieve healthier lives for the long haul. I mean,
yeah, it's really about, building the inner body, I call it, the spiritual body, and the physical body simultaneously so that we are not neglecting the inner part that it has such a huge part in terms of our fitness journey as well. Not just our fitness journey, but everything in life. We all have wounds. We all have things that we're dealing with, and I think those parts are actually overlooked. And so I think a lot of times we are motivated to start a new plan or get on this kick, and we fall short of what we wanted to do, and it's because we're not really healing the whole part. And that's really sort of my vision, to give people awareness that we aren't just physical, that we're much more than that. We are also spiritual.
It's almost like kind of like uniting both sides, because I do agree with you, is that sometimes we really get used to these negative conversations in our head or ways to just keep self-sabotaging ourselves out of a long-lasting, healthy lifestyle, which doesn't even on paper make sense. Why would you be fighting ways to make you look and feel better?
Yeah, it's funny that we can self-sabotage ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think we realize that there is a self-image that we have attached ourselves to for many years, and that we will do everything in our power to sort of adapt to that blueprint that we automatically have set up. And a lot of us, it's subconscious. I don't think we are even aware of what sort of that self-image that we have. But when we start trying to break out of the old way of conditioning, something will happen. If it's difficult or it's something, whatever, like life gets busy, then we go all the way back into that old way of doing things. And then now we're just reinforcing that old self-image. And so it's just like this vicious cycle that we all go through. And so I think by bringing the awareness to the forefront here, we can start dealing with some of those things and having the understanding and the knowledge of saying, oh, I know what's going on here. So even though it's difficult, I do have more knowledge and awareness of myself than I ever have before, and I can start pushing through some of those barriers or obstacles that have been holding me back.
Because these are some tools that you offer in the book, then, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. It's really broken up into a physical element and a spiritual element, and it's based off an acronym that I picked called CHOSEN, and I picked that word because it was important for me when I was writing this book that I had to constantly reinforce that I was chosen, that I was much more than I could ever imagine. I believe that we are all created in the image and likeness of God. That goes, I believe that for everyone. So I did this. It wasn't like a positive affirmation, but it was something that I actually applied every day. So I broke it up into two different elements. You have the spiritual, which stands for conceding. You have the honoring and the offering, which I think the offering is a pretty cool element to it. I say the quickest way to get out of depression is to give to others, and it puts you automatically in a state of gratitude. And so I have this element of offering and giving back into to the community, because with this book, it's not just about empowering yourself or the reader. It's also about empowering those around you. It's about connecting with your friends, your family, and your community, in your spiritual source on a deeper level than you ever have before. And that's also, I think, a key element in this book. And I think it really is what kind of separates it, and it gives it a unique twist. So you have the spiritual element, and then simultaneously every day you'll be applying the physical elements, which are sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And so each and every day, it's a 43-day devotional. In each and every day, you're going to be applying all these 6 elements to your life. So it's not just like this positive affirmations that you're going to be doing. It's actually something that you're going to be applying to your brain and your nervous system that was going to be reconditioning the way you've ever done things before.
So, for example, and my don't mind me for snooping, but I saw your gorgeous girlfriend on Instagram, by the way.
Oh my God! I tell you what, she will love the fact that you just said that.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I saw a cool thing on one of her Instagram posts that I wanted to bring up because I wasn't sure if this was pulled directly from your book, but I really like the messaging of this. The post was, start by doing 1 push-up. Start by drinking a cup of water. Start by paying toward 1 debt, or deleting 1 old contact, or walking 1 lap. Like a list of these things that says start just with just that little bit today and then repeat it tomorrow. The idea, this sort of philosophy maybe come from my book. It's funny, not to get off of a tangent, but, like attracts like. And so, if you're spiritual, you'll probably attract someone who is spiritual. So she kind of thinks sort of the same way I do naturally. And so I think that's why, life brought us together. But it is really about my philosophy. I think that so much that we focus on the destination. I think goals are important, and I think we should have them in our lives, but we focus so much on the destination that I think it becomes overwhelming for us, and that we can get discouraged. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about the devotional approach, or the day-to-day approach, is that it's about focusing on what we have to do today. I call it the compounding effect. It's like building off each and every day, staying focused on what we're doing today. Like you said, it's like one push-up, it's 1 sit-up. It's like, and then say, oh, I conquered today. Now let's go into the next day. And that's how you really empower yourself. That's how you build that self-esteem, and you change that self-image, and you start building that new belief system for yourself. And I think it's something that is sort of overlooked, because we all want this instant gratification nowadays. We do, but especially January. January is tough because most people kind of overdo it during the holidays. And, the conversation starts well before Thanksgiving, and then you think, oh, okay, that was just a few days. Then all these holiday parties and all these holiday events. It just seems like this cycle that kind of repeats itself every year. And come January, a lot of folks are back to beating themselves up again and do these extreme diet moves that often just keep failing. It's, again, the vicious cycle. How do we change this vicious cycle? And how can your book hopefully help more people accomplish that? Accomplishing the conquering of the old negative ways. They keep failing. That's what we're diving into tonight with a celebrity fitness trainer and now book author, Alec Penix. Alecpenix. He's Alec the Trainer on Twitter and Instagram. His brand new book, 7 Sundays, a faith, fitness, and food plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. It's a 43-day challenge where he's trying to guide us into doing these daily routines. You know, working on our inner, our spiritual needs, feeding the spiritual side of what we need, and then kind of reap the rewards while also doing some work on the physical side and also how we're feeding ourselves food-wise. And when it all comes together, we've got a pretty good chance of creating lasting change and maybe feeling a lot more fulfilled and a lot happier. Quick break and we're right back. It's My LA on 104.3 myFM. We're back. It's our public affairs show. It's My LA on 104.3 myFM and also heard everywhere via iHeartRadio. Lisa Fox on tonight, chatting all things celebrating our mind, body, and spirit, especially in lovely January. Folks doing all these New Year, New You, New Year's resolutions and buying crazy gym memberships and doing crazy fasts and cleanses and going to extreme measures and doing all these crazy diets that often end up failing. Again. Alec Penix, who's a celebrity fitness trainer and now book author, wrote this book to truly try to help us conquer the continued negative conversations, that negative rhetoric in our head that keeps us failing, that continues all this self-sabotaging, especially when it comes to a healthy way of eating, healthy way of taking care of our bodies. He wants to unite, feeding the spiritual side. What's going on the inside? Let's work on the inside and the outside at the same time and get them both connected on the same page. He's been doing this with his clients in person and finding tremendous success. So now he put it in a book to share with the masses. And hey, it's just a 43-day challenge. Come on. His new book is called 7 Sundays, a faith, fitness, and food plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. His website is alecpenix.com for more, AlecPenix.com. And Alec, you mentioned in the last break how the word chosen is a huge theme of your book. It's an acronym that you use, and you kind of break it down as to how the word chosen, which stands for concede, honor, offer, and then sleep, exercise, and nutrition. It's kind of like that combination of things spiritually and physically that you're asking folks to do on a day-to-day basis of this 43-day challenge in the book.
Exactly. I think that speaking things and reading things are only a part of it, but actually going out and taking action is the final piece of the puzzle. And that's what I love about 7 Sundays is that it has that. All right, we're not just reading a book, but we're actually going out into the world and applying this. And it's amazing that once you start incorporating this into your life, you naturally will start inspiring those around you as well. And the thing is, too, I think there's a lot of tools out there, but there's nothing that really follows you step by step. And that's also, it's like almost as if I'm there with the reader. I'm helping them along every step of the way. It's like, all right, they're just like, do this, and do that in most exercise and diet books. And it can become overwhelming, and I think a lot of people may have questions if you're just starting off. And it really gets specific and detailed oriented so that it sort of answers a lot of those questions, I think, that people have naturally. So I think that people will also feel like they have a support system while they do this book. And I think that's also important, I think, for us when we're ever trying to start something new in our life.
Yeah, and for the 43 days that you're asking folks, you're not really asking, you're just kind of putting it out there saying, if you do this, and you've seen success with your clients, so essentially you're saying, if you follow this, you've got a great chance of having success, or meaning greatly improving your life overall, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
I think that you would definitely find yourself feeling better. I definitely think that you're going to have physical benefits. You'll probably lose weight. You'll gain muscle. All those things are important. But what I think is the most valuable asset, and this is what I really want to teach, is that I want this to become a lifestyle for people. And we all want that. I feel like we all say that, but it doesn't always come to fruition. So it's like, how do we finally make it a gosh darn lifestyle that lasts longer than a couple of months? Start small. And I think when you said earlier, when it comes to New Year's resolution, it's like we're so gung-ho and we're so like we have all these goals and we're not really being realistic, or we're not really putting the whole picture, like understanding the whole picture here. And so I go back to being overwhelmed. And when we start creating all these, I want to do this, this, and this, it's like, okay, let's take a step back and let's start small. Let's build some sense of momentum. I think progress is a huge part of anyone's success. Once you start feeling good and having a sense of momentum, then you'll continue that momentum. I tell people that I started, because of my book that was launched December 4th, I really wanted to start a new journey myself, and something I've been working out my whole life. And starting on, it was March 1st, I worked out every single day, and I'm continuing to do that. I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you.
Well, you're a fitness trainer, though. I would think you are working out every day for all these years that you've been doing this.
But you would be surprised, because my vision changed, my idea changed about it, because there are days where I can only work out for 20 minutes, and if that means I just go for a run, then I'll just leave my house and I'll start going for a run. It's the simple things. Whereas before, I mean, like, you know what, I don't have my hour, and I can't get time. I don't have time to go to the gym, even though I work at a gym, but I don't have time to go to the gym. So you know what, I'll just not go in today, and then I'll just start back up tomorrow.
I know people do that all the time because we get frustrated. We beat ourselves up. One of the biggest challenges is the no time. I don't have time. I don't have time to do an hour spinning. I don't have time to go home and change, and can't find a workout buddy. And it's always, again, the roadblocks of I can't. And it's frustrating because a lot of people just don't even like working out, but let alone making the time becomes a challenge when you have busy people who are married and with kids and busy careers. You're like, how? I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. to squeeze in a gosh darn workout.
Yeah, people have this. I think that society has trained us that we have to go to the gym for an hour and kill ourselves, and it's just not realistic to do that. I mean, with my book, all the workouts that I have are either in your own house, your living room, that doesn't really require any equipment other than maybe a chair here and there, and then there's the nature aspect of going outside and connecting with life and with that type of energy, or with for me it's God, but it's really about showing the reader that it's not that difficult, and that we need to sort of change the way of thinking when it comes to exercise. Is that, with my Instagram, if you look at my Instagram, I've been showing people workouts to do in the living room, and they're basic 3 exercise circuit that you could do 2 sets of. You do 2 sets of that maybe 2 or 3 times a day, which would literally take you 10 minutes each. You'll be surprised. There's scientific proof out there that you can lose weight by just spreading it out throughout the day, like adding little increments, and then just getting your heart rate elevated. And if you add that up through the course of the year, you'll be a totally different person.
Well, and 10 minutes at a time sounds a lot more doable than, again, the dreaded hour and driving to the gym, and even just stressing out about the time it takes in traffic to get anywhere, let alone to the gym, and dealing with the parking structure, drama, or depending on where you work out. It's just very easy to kind of stack up all the negatives and be like, I can't do it. I'm not going at all. And with your book and with this 43-day challenge and 7 Sundays, like you said, that's what you're trying to change by addressing the inside. And that this hour at the gym is kind of a creation. It doesn't even need to be like that. You can make it all work around your schedule, your life schedule. You can do it. A little bit of working out, a little bit of eating healthier, and a little bit about working on the inside, working on the spiritual side with these, daily tasks that you're asking folks to do each day of the 43-day challenge.
And what I'm trying to explain here is that it's really a different mental thinking process here. It is a spiritual approach to looking at exercise in a different way than most people try to explain it. It's not about necessarily going to the gym. It's like everyone's life is crazy busy now. It's just how society is. And so we need to find ways to make things, we need to be efficient with our time. And so by just saying that you can do workouts in your house or going outside, like just getting your clothes on and just like going outside and just getting moving, your body moving is I really think like a different approach to exercise and to a healthy way of living, and so it's you really just making a shift. You're building you're opening that awareness up to yourself and looking at things a little bit differently.
I love this little blurb written by our mutual pal Jay Schwartz. After reading 7 Sundays, the changes required to live a healthier life become easier because you want to change your habits rather than feel as if you have to change them. This is key. This is like, oh my gosh, this is like the inner desire, the dream to want to squeeze in these little mini workouts instead of feeling like, I don't have time. Who's making me do this?
Yeah.
So the changes required to live a healthier life become easier because you'll want to change your habits rather than feel that you have to change them. The book is designed to inspire you to look inside yourself and recognize that it's not that you need to exercise, eat right, and be healthy, but it's that you deserve to exercise, eat right, and be healthy, and recognize your body as a spiritual vessel. Like all
Right.
that I so get and I'm connecting with, and I love that this is what your book focuses on.
Right. What you just spoke upon, it's really about what is your why, and with 7 Sundays, my why was at the time, and it still is, obviously it's a foundation, is my relationship with God, but my motivation this last year has evolved into like I want to do I want to be the person that is living this lifestyle, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, and that's why I've been exercising every day, because I want to help other people and to show people that people, well, you're a trainer, this and that, but my why has changed to really being that vessel for people to inspire them through this process. And when the reader looks at this, it's like I want them to ask themselves, what is their why? Like, what's going to motivate them to start the journey? What's going to motivate them to sustain it and allow them to see things differently? And that doesn't necessarily have to be God for them. That could be their family. That could be it could be whatever. It could be the universe. However you want to look at it, I want to lead that open for the reader. But knowing your why, so sitting down before you even reading the book and saying, okay, why do I really want to do this? Do a little soul searching and finding that motivation within to get you through it, to get you started. I want people to start tapping into that spiritual element and having that tied into this journey of this fitness journey to say, well, these two things are actually an integral, like they're a part of the whole process here.
Working on the spiritual and physical journey at the same time, bringing them both together to work on the same team. The spiritual and the fitness, the health and fitness journey coming together as one. It's Alec's approach in his new book that he's sharing with us, 7 Sundays, a faith, fitness, and food plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. It's a 43-day challenge. New year, new you. Come on, who's in? It's alecpenix.com for all the info, AlecPenix.com. Another break, and we're right back. It's My LA on 104.3 myFM.
104.3 myFM.
Santa Clarita,
Torrance,
West Covina.
Newport Beach.
This is My LA.
Our show that puts the spotlight on charitable organizations, nonprofits, and people giving back. And tonight we're talking about celebrating the mind, body, and spirit. New year, new you. Never been a better time. We do it every gosh darn January. So it's Lisa Fox. It's My LA on 104.3 myFM and heard everywhere via iHeartRadio. But tonight we're chatting with celebrity fitness trainer, now book author, Alec Penix, about his approach to all this. The focus of his new book, 7 Sundays, a faith, fitness, and food plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. It's a 43-day challenge. He's had a lot of success with his clients. Now it's in this new book, offering folks ways that we can work on the inside while working on the outside and kind of bringing both sides together to work on feeling more whole and more happy for the long haul. And it is about digging deeper when it comes to a lot of folks who self-sabotage, especially in January, self-sabotage all these workout and diet programs. Why do you keep doing that? What's going on there? Yeah, how do you change the conversation in your head that's going to help you recognize that you don't need or have to exercise, eat right, and be healthy, but that you deserve to exercise, eat right, and be healthy, and recognize your body as this spiritual vessel. That's the premise of Alec's book and this 43-day challenge. Instead of saying, ugh, I don't have abs, I'll never have abs at the age of 40, whatever, it's, I deserve to have abs. This body deserves abs.
You are worthy of abs.
I am worthy of abs. And if you look at Alec the trainer, Alec with a C, the trainer on his Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you have earned those abs. Have you always been into health and fitness, or like your whole life, or were you like a heavy-set kid who got inspired to do all this?
This goes back into, like, I talk about this a lot on TV and stuff, because I want people to understand that I'm not just this trainer, that I'm this guy that has dealt with a lot, and that I know that one thing that we all share is pain and suffering in our own lives and our past that we've dealt with. And I actually turned to exercise as a tool to shape my body, because for so long, I was diagnosed with a learning disability when I was younger, so I wanted just to fit in, so I switched to exercise. I was gifted with it, and so I just went with it, and I started playing football. I was really good at that. I played a little bit of college football, but then that ended. So I moved out to LA to pursue the whole celebrity trainer thing, and it's brought me up to where I'm at now. But it was always to compensate for this lack of self-image that I had. I want people to understand is that because of my relationship with God, because of me tying these two elements together, I really am able to start breaking free from that identity and start doing something like special with my life that I never once thought that I'd ever be able to write a book. I never once thought I'd be on Good Morning America and doing things in front of the whole world and, just trying to give back in a positive way. And so I really believe that anything is possible. I talk about that in the book, and, I just want to be proof, not just about, oh, you've changed my life physically, Alec. I want to change someone's life from the inside out, or I want to be a conduit. I want to help people facilitate that process. But I'm not just this guy that hasn't dealt with anything in my life, and so
Mr. Perfect. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
Were you always religious, Alec, or did you have kind of like a spiritual wake-up call?
I was never religious. I never went to church. I never opened up the Bible until when I was like 27. I had a pretty powerful encounter with God. I was in Mexico with celebrating a wedding with my clients and great friend Carlos and Alexa Penavega, and the next day I was not feeling great, and I was probably in the darkest time of my life, and I was lying in bed, and this was the first time I ever prayed out loud, and I just said, God, I need your help. And I tell everyone that I heard a voice right after that, and they said, no, it's probably just because you're hungover, Alex. But I told her
wedding hangovers can do that, Alec.
Yeah,
I know firsthand.
That's crazy things to you. And that voice said, Alec, it's time to become the man I've called you to be. And from that point on, I was on fire for learning more about God and getting in touch with this spiritual part of myself that I felt was malnourished for my whole life. And I realized, had an epiphany that this is what I've been missing this whole time. I've been missing this spiritual element to sort of fulfill that last and final piece for that happiness and joy that I've so longed for.
So it's like you said, yeah, the outside now looks good because you've been a haughty celebrity trainer for 10 plus years, but the inside was lacking and deprived and still a little self-loathing until you made this connection. And then, well, what if we all don't hear the voice, Alec? Are we going to, I guess we could hear your voice. Well, you can do this, people. Yeah. Listen to me, buy my book and follow the steps.
Maybe I'll just do like an audio and just say,
do it, yeah.
It's time to become the person I've called you to be, and you can just put that on your headphones while you're exercising or you're pushing away that chocolate cake.
In today's times, Alec, I think a female should play the voice of God, so if you need somebody, I do voiceovers.
Oh, yes. Let's do that. That's actually a great idea. We can collaborate on this.
There you go.
Yeah, before I talked a little bit about, before we end here, I talked a little bit about the offering aspect, and I wanted to sort of touch base with a little bit of the nutrition part of it, and I think it comes into play with the new year, new you, and that we can sort of go like cold turkey, and we can just completely change our diet, and then we can get burnt out. And I want people to sort of have an idea with me and my approach, and something that I talk about in the book is having like healthy alternatives and just making a little bit of shift, and building upon that little shift. And for instance, for me, I was, as a trainer, I'm always on my feet. I need that convenience, and especially in the health industry, power bars are a huge aspect of that. Mm-hmm. And so I was constantly eating these bars, but there was like all these chemically induced bars that I couldn't even pronounce the name of the words, and it was actually making me sick, my digestion and stuff. And I realized at that point in time that I needed to make a shift in my diet and what I was doing. And this is just an example for people to understand. And so I had to do my research and look for another, because I love bars. Look for a bar that was all natural, and that I wasn't going to affect my digestion, wasn't going, even though I may have a six-pack or whatever, it still doesn't mean I'm healthy. And I found these bars, they're called G2G, Good to Go bars, that have really made a shift in the way I feel, and it's an easy source of fueling that you can have throughout the day. But this is just an example of what people can do.
Little changes, making better choices, little changes, better choices, and then implementing all these different things every single day for 43 straight days, and then we're going to feel and look a lot better than we maybe are in this moment, I would hope, right?
Yeah, yes. And it's like I said, think about the compounding effect, building upon the little things and knowing that the little things do matter, and knowing that what you just did, what you just accomplished is actually there to empower you, and don't overlook those little victories.
I love this quote that the guy who interviewed you from The Hollywood Reporter wrote about your book. He said, 7 Sundays, you'll pray a little, you'll sweat a little, and before you know it, you'll find your abs while finding your higher power.
Oh, that's really good, and I totally actually forgot about that quote, and that's something that I really like. Yeah. I'm gonna start using that.
You do it. All right, Alec, before we let you go, I know that there's a mutual friend there with you, mutual friend of ours, mine for like 20 plus years, who has done this challenge, the 43-day challenge that your book is all about.
Yes, he's still here.
Can we put him on the phone real quick?
Yeah, Jay, you have to come on the phone.
Jay, my longtime friend, Jay Schwartz, a publicist and a manager, and obviously he's working with Alec, but I've known this guy like 20 years. Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so for 20 years, I've known you and trusted you and loved you, and I always thought you looked great, but you have done, your client/friend, you've done Alec's 43-day challenge from the book, and tell us how it worked for you, how it helped you make changes on the spiritual and physical fitness side.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I went in there and I was looking for a trainer, and I don't know if you know, I had clients on Dancing with the Stars. It was the season that Carlos Penavega was on the show, and he was there, and I don't know, through somebody I was asking for a trainer, and Carlos introduced me to Alec. And so I went in to work out with him, but I've had many trainers over the years, so I didn't really know what it was going to be like. And I started working out with him, and in our sessions...
training sessions, yeah.
Yeah, you know that working out with a trainer is like having a therapist. I mean, you talk. It's a very intimate time.
That's why they cost so damn much.
That's right. That's why they cost so damn much. Exactly. But we just started, talking, and, I don't know, as everybody does, I went through a lot of shit in or stuff in my life, and built up a lot of walls around me, especially being in the industry that I'm in. You got to be careful, and it's about perception, and so I built up a lot of walls, especially with a lot of personal stuff that has happened to me throughout my life. And as we're training, we're talking, and I would stop. The conversation would get a little too deep for me, so I would stop and turn around and walk away. And, one day he just said to me, and this was like when the light bulb went off, he said, dude, you can push me away as much as you want. I'm not going anywhere. And that just sort of made an impact on me. And so we started talking, and my body was changing, but now really my mind shift. I was having a shift. You know, it wasn't about he's Christian, I'm Jewish, you know, Jesus or whatever. It was just, let's just talk, just as people. And it started to have a very big effect on me, and little by little, the walls just started coming down. And that was a very hard thing for me, the process of it, because, you know, here I was having these walls up and I was protected. Now the walls are coming down, and all the rush of feelings and emotions came running back to me.
But it sounds like, but good things came of it. Good things came of kind of
but
relinquishing that control. Yeah.
The process of it was not enjoyable at all, because I had to start dealing with all the stuff I'd pushed away for so long. But the good things that came out of it was not only was my physical self changing, but my spiritual self was changing. And we would just continue to talk and talk. And Alex become, you know, I tell people he's the brother that I wish I've always had. And I have a brother. But this is the guy. You know, there's not anything we haven't spoken about, like anything, just as brothers talk. And it's very empowering to have somebody just there for you.
And you feel like the book is going to do that for people who buy it on Amazon. It's like $17 on Amazon, people.
Yeah, no,
come on.
Absolutely, because I'm the one who said to him, I walked in one day and said to him, have you ever thought about writing a book? Because if you're able to do this for me, and I think I'm a pretty, you know, hard-nosed guy from New York, you know, black and white, and if you're able to help me, you're going to help everybody. You got to do this.
I love that. See,
And
Jay,
then-
you helped this whole thing happen, and now you're helping the masses who read and follow and do this 43-day challenge of Alec's book, 7 Sundays. It can hopefully help a whole lot of people kind of get it together in a good way.
I hope so, because we've been doing an incredible amount of press, and people have been saying, how are
Responding.
you doing this?
Yeah.
And it's just relationships, and it's people like you who know me, who we've spoken, and it's like, wow, there's a shift in you. I can feel it. I can see it. And it's like, that's all due to him, because, you know, it's like you don't have to think that, oh, I can do 100 push-ups or I can do just have a confidence, or as we say, have faith in one thing. I can do the pull-up. I can get up off the couch. I can run Fryman Canyon. I can do this, as opposed to, no, you know, I don't think I can. What he has done for me, which is hopefully what this book will do for everybody else, is give you that faith, that confidence. So it's not so much you have to have a faith in God or Jesus, or have a faith in yourself. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And he's restored that faith in me. And if you can do that with me, you can do that with
anybody. Well, you do sound happier, and I can't wait to see you in person, because I know you got some abs in there somewhere, I'm sure, by now,
Yeah,
Jay.
well, I don't know about the abs, but I have chest and biceps.
Oh, nice.
And I'm telling you, check out my Instagram. You'll be very impressed.
First, let's do Alec's Instagram. It's Alec the Trainer with a C, ALEC. Alec the Trainer on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Alec the Trainer.
Right.
And
On
then
Facebook, he's Alec Penix, the trainer.
Alec Penix, PENIX, the Trainer. And then Jay Schwartz, what's your Instagram?
It's just JD Schwartz, JAYDSCHWARTZ.
And you've been posting your progress on there as well, then, like you said.
Oh, yeah, it's been on
videos
there
and everything.
We try to do a video each week and put it up. And, you know, one day I said to him after I put one up, the next day, you know, I woke up, I looked at it, and it's like, there's 1,100 people who have seen this. So
See? That's good, though.
Those are the videos that people respond to. So we try to do it each time. But, yeah, that's the progress. There you could see from the very beginning of what we did to what I put up a couple of weeks ago.
It's like a mixture of, physical, food-wise, and spiritual homework every day. A little bit at a time, every day. And then, like you're saying, your firsthand proof that after 43 days, you'll just feel and look better, but also feel a lot more fulfilled. More fulfilled.
There's no question you'll feel fulfilled. It's you know, and you go, oh, people say, oh, look at you. You look really good. And I never take compliments. I've never been able to take compliments. And now, I was like, hey, Jay, I saw that. You look pretty good. Look at those arms. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I worked really hard for this.
Yeah, you earned it.
I'm proud of it, and I don't feel bad about it. I can accept it and receive it and go, yeah, I worked hard for it. I look good, and most of all, I feel good.
And you sound so good. All right, Jay, and congratulations for doing it. The 43-day challenge of your client/bestie, Alec Penix. His new book, 7 Sundays, a faith, fitness, and food plan for lasting spiritual and physical change. All the info at alecpenix.com, AlecPenix.com for all the info. Alec, you rock. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
104.3 myFM.
Burbank.
Orange.
Lakewood.
El Monte.
This is My LA.
My LA.